with Cedrik on the Siemens booth at Hannover Messe. Cedrik, today is a special day for you folks. What's going on?
It's our birthday. It's the first day of smart infrastructure, and it's an exciting time for really 71,000 people coming together, creating a 14 billion company which wants to change the smart infrastructure market.
That is not something that happens every day.
No, absolutely not.
Now, what does this mean for all of the Siemens employees and the various groups that are coming together in smart infrastructure?
The main idea is 2020 Plus, which is the organization we set out, was really about focusing on the customer and going after a market. The smart infrastructure market is a market which comes together and you want to put all the key assets to shape this market rather than being shaped. That's what it means. It means that today we are a whole organization which has one purpose, is to make the infrastructure out there as smart as possible.
And we were chatting earlier, you mentioned that it's not about just bringing together what you have today, it's about building for the future and going after the new opportunity for the growth.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to understand that we have all these assets, all these people which have capabilities. Bringing them together creates a new market, but there's a new market. In my old company, we used to call them hypergrowth markets.
Yep.
The hypergrowth markets, it's all about really going at the right time when a market is about to take off. It's like mobile phones when they were taking off, or when the internet was taking off, being there. This is going to happen to e-charging, it's going to happen to battery storage, for example. We need to go into those markets. So not only bringing the assets together, but position ourselves at the right time to actually capture as much as possible.
And you mentioned it already, you guys have been planning this for a while. This is not something that you decided at Christmas.
Absolutely, because the idea is we wanted to create something unique which moves faster than the competition. Most of our competitors are looking at just the energy market, or they're looking just at the building market, or they're looking just at the industry market. Our idea is it's a bit like when you have an internet background.
Yep.
When the internet came, you had lots of islands. You had an Apple Talk or DECnet island, an Apple Talk island, you had an IBM island, which solved the problem. The same is happening in the infrastructure. When the infrastructure now comes together, digitalization gives the chance to break down those barriers. And we wanted to do this. So with the assets we have in products and systems, and actually the capability also to integrate it, that's what we wanted to actually put it together. And that takes sometimes time to see on how do we set it up. That's why we took the time to be ready.
And you mentioned it earlier, you're launching here today at Hannover Messe. It's about all of industry 4.0. I spend most of my time looking at the energy side. So I was talking to teams this morning and over the afternoon looking at all the stuff in energy. But you mentioned earlier, well, it's the grid assets, but it's connecting it to the buildings and it's connecting it to energy, because energy efficiency in the massive organizations that make stuff, it's joining those dots.
And the idea is the following: why did we choose Hannover Messe to kickstart our organization? Smart infrastructure brings grids, buildings, and industry together. And the access we have to industry, where actually energy matters, when you optimize basically the energy consumption in an industry environment, you have a huge impact. We want to show that this happens in industry and we can make it happen. We want to take it to the building and take it to the grids. And that's why we started industry.
We switched location to the Siemens e-mobility booth over in Hall 27. Cedrik, you mentioned it's all about the future growth.
Yes.
What are you guys doing here?
The important part, and we talked about it early on, is to be in the growth market at the right time with the right products. So we have the product. I'm really proud of our new AC charger. And by the way, this is a bus from BT Building Technology, so already you can see SI coming together.
Integration.
But jokes aside, it's not only about the product, it's e-mobility. You have to look at it as a solution. How do you put these things in place? How do you connect them? How do you make sure, for example, this is going to come with the capability to detect if a car is actually parking here or not. Not that you drive to the charger and then your space is taken, even if it's not charging.
So regardless if there's no one plugged in with the car, the space is gone.
Exactly. So you need to think of e-charging as a concept, and that's what we're doing. Go into the right markets and look at it holistically rather than just a product.
And when you were mentioning earlier with the whole smart infrastructure, charging stations will typically be attached to a building, and then there's the management of the building. And as you say, it's the entire ecosystem of joining the dots together.
Exactly, and and you said it beautifully, because you're going to charge either at home or you're going to charge at work. And when you charge at work, it needs to be part of how many people are coming at the same time, how do you sort of build out the grids, how do you include it to be able to understand if you can actually park or not. That's what you need to do. And then you need to pay for it. So you need a software element of it. So we're building fantastic products, fantastic systems, and we're putting this into a complete solution aspect.
And in terms of the products, you've got AC charging, you've got fast charging, you're looking at the e-highway
Yes.
in terms of trucks going down the motorway with driven electrically.
Absolutely. The idea is that we want the full bandwidth, that from when you're charging at home with AC to super fast charges, we have the full capability. We're looking at it also on putting it together, and then we're combining it. We launched, for example, June Light, which is sort of a battery storage. So we have the battery storage aspect for the home, we have the battery storage also in the utility space, and the full charging suite with the logic behind it. So we really want to be a solution provider for the space.
And
Mindsphere connects it all, absolutely. That's the idea.
Okay, we've moved over to the energy and industry part of the Siemens company. Cedrik, you mentioned about breaking down silos.
I mean, the idea is 40% of all energy is being consumed in buildings. You're actually spending 90% of your time in buildings. So you shouldn't think about it just as buildings or just as a grid or just industries. You need to really sort of bring it back together. And that's what we're doing at Siemens. And that's the big differentiation we will have in this one.
So it's by joining the silos where everything was, I just do this and they do that, and no joining the dots.
Absolutely, you're a digital man, right? I mean, that's where you come from. And we knew it's that the capability, if you start connecting all of those assets, you bring it to Mindsphere, you can start doing things and saving money, saving energy, or bringing some new ideas which you haven't thought before.
Now, you mentioned earlier at Dubai 2020, you're building a lot of this.
We're a strategic partner.
It's not just an event.
No, it's our biggest navigator installation. It's the capability to really sort of, we're looking at building the most renewable and smart infrastructure you can think of. We should actually call Dubai 2020, Dubai 2020 plus.
You pick all the small projects.